Move over, Emily. That seat isn't for you. Those words hit like a cold slap. I froze halfway to the chair I'd occupied at every family dinner for years. The one beside Grandpa. My mother's hand skimmed the chair's back. Her smile was all sharp edges. "It's for Lauren now," she said, nodding at my brother's wife. "Before we continue, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Tell us your city. After the video, share honestly what you would do in this situation. We read every comment. Now let's begin." The table shifted with awkward, guilty energy. Plates chimed, silverware rattled, but no one defended me. Daniel smirked as if it were nothing. Lauren gave me that small, superior smile. My father murmured under his breath, not even looking up, "You don't belong there." The words twisted inside me, "not belong in my own family." My throat tightened, but I swallowed. Showing emotion would only feed them. "I see," I said quietly, fingers digging into my purse strap. "Enjoy your dinner." My heart pounded as I walked for the door, shame burning my skin. Each step away felt like being cut. Low laughter and whispers circled the table like predators. Just as my hand found the brass handle, a voice cut through. Deep, firm, commanding. "Emily," Grandpa said. The room froze. Forks paused midair. Wine glasses hovered. My hand trembled on the handle as I turned to meet his eyes. "Come back here," he said, stern but with an intensity they didn't understand. Dad opened his mouth, but Grandpa raised a hand and silenced him. "Actually," he continued, voice ringing through the dining room, "Emily owns this house." The air cracked. Chairs scraped. Mouths fell open. Daniel choked on his wine. Lauren blinked. My mother went pale. I stood stunned, heart racing. Grandpa leaned forward, set his hands on the table, and slid a thick manila envelope from under his chair. He'd brought it on purpose. He tapped it. County records don't get confused. He beckoned me with 2 fingers. I walked back in, pulse still racing, and took the seat I'd been denied. Lauren's manicured hand hovered over the chair a moment too long before she released it. Daniel's jaw tightened. My father stared into his glass. "Sit, Emily," Grandpa said, softer now. "You won't be leaving your own table." The chair felt different. Heavier, anchoring. Grandpa opened the envelope and laid out papers with crisp whispers. "Grant deed," he read, tapping the first sheet. "Recorded with the county on March 9th this year. Property held by the Klein Family Trust. Successor trustee Emily Klein." Daniel's voice cracked. "You put her in charge of the trust?" Grandpa didn't blink. "No, son. I kept the house safe by doing what your parents refused to do." "Pay attention." My mother let out a brittle laugh. "This is outrageous. You can't." "I can," he said, "because I did." He pushed another page forward. "Delinquent taxes paid last winter. A past due line of credit for the roof brought current. Insurance reinstated after your father missed payments." He held up a bank printout, highlighted line. "That autopay isn't my account." Emily set it up. All eyes snapped to me. Heat rose in my cheeks, but my voice stayed even. I didn't want the house at risk. When the cancellation notice came, I called the insurer. It was 30 minutes from lapse. "You never told us," my father accused, as if betrayal had been done to him. "I told Mom," I said, looking at her. 2 months ago." Her lips pressed thin. Daniel shoved his elbows on the table, pushing a bread plate into the runner. "So you played hero, for points, to embarrass us tonight?" "Daniel," Grandpa warned. "Don't Daniel me," he snapped, that old sibling fire sparking. "You've always liked looking good in front of him." He jerked his chin toward my father. "Teacher's pet." An old annoyance flared, and I let it pass. "If I'd wanted to embarrass you, I would have spoken up when Mom told me to move." Lauren cleared her throat delicately. "We were just trying to make seating easier. It wasn't personal." "Emily." Lauren, Grandpa said, calm but edged with steel. "You've been telling people at your club the house would hit the market this fall." She blinked, flustered. "What? No. Don't insult me. Half the town has known this address since before your real estate blog was a thing." "Your words get around." He slid another sheet across. Your agent friend even sent me an unsolicited note about staging. Lauren flushed. Daniel's glare pivoted to her. You did what? She mumbled. I was trying to help. Your parents are overwhelmed and the market's good. This is my home, Grandpa said, and the room stilled. He looked at me, and she's the one who kept it that way. Not you. Not any of you. My father finally looked up. Why her? Grandpa answered for me. Because she spent nights on hold with the bank, because she showed up when no one else did. He listed it. When I had my procedure last year, who drove me? When the porch steps started sinking and the contractor overcharged us, who negotiated? When the leak ruined the hallway, who tore up a weekend and brought a dehumidifier from her apartment? When the mortgage lender sent a compliance letter and it got tossed in the recycling, who dug it out? Each time the table murmured. Emily, my mother's fork scraped porcelain. Enough, Dad, she said. But Grandpa kept going. She's not loud about what she does. That's the difference. He slid me a set of keys I'd had since college. They felt heavier tonight. You decide who sits where in this house, he said. You decide who respects it. Starting now. I looked down the table at faces arranged in denial, shame, anger. My heart thudded. Younger me would have smoothed things over, apologized, made everyone comfortable. I wasn't younger. I'm not kicking anyone out, I said, and a few shoulders eased. But the insults stop, the threats to sell stop. If you don't respect me, you can't stay. Lauren blinked, weighing optics. We respect you. You called me temporary, I said, evenly. Daniel sneered. What's the plan then, owner? Going to flip the dining room and post it on Instagram? I'm going to keep the roof over Grandpa's head, I said. I'm going to fix the plumbing that's been knocking for 3 months. I'm going to lock the liquor cabinet so strangers from your poker nights stop stumbling through at 2 a.m., and I'm changing the alarm code tomorrow. My mother's eyes lit. You wouldn't? I already did. I'll text you the new one tonight. Grandpa's mouth twitched with pride. It warmed me in a way I hadn't felt in years. Daniel pushed his chair back hard enough to screech. This is a joke, he said, looking for my dad's support that didn't come. We're letting her play sheriff because she paid a couple of bills. Grandpa's gaze held, because she saved what you were too busy to notice you were losing. My father exhaled tight and low. What does this mean for the estate? It means what it says, Grandpa replied. The trust gives her authority. There's a care plan one she drafted with me that keeps me here, keeps the house intact, and prevents you all from carving it up while I'm still breathing. I breathed and felt the room sharpen. Dinner's cold, I said softer. Can we sit and eat, or does anyone need to leave before we do? No one moved. Then slowly chairs eased back. My mother fussed with silverware. Lauren smoothed her napkin. Daniel sat last, defiant. Conversation returned clipped and careful, like stepping across slick stones. Grandpa asked about the contractor appointment. I answered. He told the story about the year the power went out on Thanksgiving, and we grilled the turkey in the driveway. For a moment people laughed genuinely. Halfway through, Daniel flung his fork down. So we're just not going to talk about the fact that she blindsided us, he said, trying to cut. I met his stare. I didn't blindside anyone. I asked for help. I asked you 3 times to move your car so the plumber could park. I asked Mom to keep the contractor list. I asked Dad to answer the insurance call. No one did. I learned not to ask. I fixed it. Wow, he said, slow clapping with tone. Congratulations, Dan, Lauren hissed. No, let him, I said. My hands were steady. Say whatever you need to say, but we are not dumping this house for a down payment on your next rental. I'm done apologizing for protecting something that can't be recovered once it's gone. He stood again, chair legs screeching. I don't have to sit here and be lectured. You don't, I said. You also don't get to show up with a photographer and stage Grandpa's bedroom like a hotel. That ends now. Grandpa placed his hand on the table, veins like blue ropes under papery skin. Daniel, stay, he said, quiet and firm. Eat. Daniel didn't move at first, then sat. The air loosened a degree. When plates were cleared, I gathered the paperwork and slid it back into the envelope. Grandpa handed me a pen. On the back of a fallen receipt. A hardware store. My handwriting. I wrote 3 words 3 times: respect, safety, boundaries. I slid them to the table's center. These are my rules, I said simply. For this house. For me. My mother glanced at the words, something complicated passing across her face. Pride fighting stubbornness and shame. She looked at Grandpa, then at me. What happens next? She asked, voice smaller than I'd heard. I stood, keys cool in my hand. Tomorrow morning at 10. The contractor's coming to check the back deck. Be here or don't. But if you are, come ready to help. The room absorbed it, the unfamiliar shape of me not bending. As I reached the archway, Grandpa called softly, "One more thing. Emily, bring the blue box from my dresser after dinner." My heart dipped. The blue box, he hadn't opened it in years. "What's in it?" Daniel asks, suspicion flaring. Grandpa smiled in a private way I'd seen only a few times. "The next part of this story," he said, "and a truth your sisters earned the right to hear first." The dining room emptied faster than I expected. Excuses floated. Lauren with emails, Mom needing aspirin, Daniel storming out. Only Grandpa and I stayed. He sipped coffee slowly, watching me in that way that both exposed and saw me. "You handled yourself," he said. "I don't feel like I did." I admitted, "I feel wrecked, like they saw me as an intruder in my own skin." Grandpa's lips twitched. "That's because they did. You being strong doesn't make them comfortable. You make them face what they've avoided. You've always been stronger than they wanted you to be." I stared at the flickering candle. "When you said I own the house, was that really necessary? Couldn't it have waited?" "No," he said firmly. "You were about to walk out the door with their words carved into your back. That's not what I raised you for. You needed to know this was yours before you forgot it." The blue box came back into my mind. I slipped into his bedroom. The air smelled of cedar polish and aftershave. The box sat on the dresser, dusty and locked with a brass clasp. My hands trembled when I carried it back. He set it between us and opened it. Inside were yellowed letters, old photographs, and a folded legal document. My throat dried. "These," he said, lifting the photos, "are from when your grandmother and I bought this place. It wasn't much then, just walls and hope. Every nail meant something. She wanted it passed to the one who understood home as more than property." He slid the folded document toward me. The heading read, "Amendment to Family Trust." My name printed bold below. "This isn't about cutting anyone out," Grandpa explained. "It's about recognizing who showed up. The law needed a successor trustee. I picked the person who never treated me like a burden." Emotion hit me so hard I had to bite it back. "They're going to hate me for this," he said simply. "Might as well give them a reason that matters." Upstairs, heavy footsteps, then silence. Daniel wouldn't let this go, I thought. He slammed the front door and later, at it again. He stood outside late that night, face hard, eyes sharp. He didn't come in. "You think this is over?" he hissed. "You embarrassed me. You think you can sit at that table and throw rules like you're the sheriff?" I gripped the doorframe. "It's not about rules, Daniel. It's about respect." His jaw worked with rage. "You'll regret this." Grandpa's voice filled the hall. "She won't. But you might if you forget who holds the keys." For the first time I saw fear flicker in Daniel. He turned and walked into the night. I shut the door slowly. Grandpa exhaled. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "Tomorrow they'll test you harder." Deep down, I knew he was right. The morning felt heavier. The house creaked, aware of the storm. I barely slept. Every crunch of gravel made me think he'd return. At 10 the contractor knocked. I led him to the back deck. Grandpa sat nearby, bundled in a cardigan, watching. Mid-inspection, tires crunched. Daniel's SUV rolled in. Then my parents' sedan. They piled out like soldiers. My mother's lips were thin. My father's jaw set. Daniel looked wrecked. "You had no right," he barked, as he stepped into the yard, changing alarm codes, bringing strangers here without telling us, acting like some queen. I faced him. I told you last night this house needs repairs. I'm not waiting for permission to keep Grandpa safe. My mother cut in sharp. Emily, enough. You're tearing this family apart with your need to control everything. I nearly laughed. Control? I'm holding together what you were willing to let rot. Don't make me the villain. The contractor shifted, muttered he'd come back later, and left. Daniel stepped close. You think paperwork makes you powerful? You're nothing without us. You'll crack when you're alone. My heart pounded, but I didn't step back. Funny, I said softly. I've been alone most of my life in this family, and somehow I didn't crack. Silence followed, sharp as a blade. My father's voice finally came, low and bitter. You embarrassed us. Do you know what people will say? Grandpa's voice boomed behind me. Enough. He struggled up, cane in hand, but his presence filled the yard. Is that when this house was falling apart? Emily saved it. While you worried about appearances, she paid the bills you ignored. Daniel, flushed, accused her of turning us against them. Grandpa shook his head. You did that yourselves, when you chose pride over responsibility. A new strength rose in me. I closed the distance between me and my brother. This isn't about me versus you, Daniel. It's about a home that deserves respect. If you can't give that, you don't belong here. His own words echoed back at him. He opened his mouth and closed. My mother's voice softened. Emily, please, you don't understand. This house is tied to everything. Our reputation, Grandpa's health, my sanity. I snapped. Those things matter more than neighbors' whispers. Tears pricked my eyes, but my voice stayed steady. I'm done being invisible, so you can keep your image polished. I won't apologize for doing what you wouldn't. Silence stretched. Grandpa took my hand. I made my choice last night. This house is Emily's responsibility now. If you can't live with that, the door is open, but stop tearing at her like wolves. My father looked down, shame crossing his face. My mother turned away, eyes glossy. Daniel stormed off, car roaring down the driveway, gravel spitting. The quiet afterward was almost sacred. I released a breath I hadn't known I held. Did I do the right thing? I whispered. Grandpa squeezed my hand. Right and easy rarely meet, he said. But tonight you'll sleep without that weight on your chest. That's how you'll know. For the first time in years, I believed him. As the sun set, I stood on the porch with the house warm behind me. It wasn't just wood and nails anymore. It was mine. Not just as property, but as proof. Proof that I could stand when they tried to erase me. Maybe they'd learn respect the hard way. If not, at least I was no longer begging for it.